Hey guys, this is Lily Zepeda with Rush Hour Entertainment, and today I am sitting with Shirley Manson of Garbage, here to talk about her album, Not Your Kind of People. So I have to ask, after all these years, was there any challenges in finding chemistry again with the band?
Much to our surprise, after 7 years, there wasn't a challenge in finding our chemistry. I think we worried that there might be, but there wasn't. The second we saw each other for the first time in the studio, we started laughing, and I think everyone felt relaxed. And
it's like riding a bike again.
Yeah, it was right in there.
And what did you miss most about being away from the band?
I think I missed the brotherhood, the sort of communal aspect of being in a band together. You share a similar sense of humour, you've got a little secret language, and there's nobody that can make me laugh quite as much as my band. They're actually, despite their public persona, are actually really funny.
Okay.
And really witty.
And it's usually with you because they feel most comfortable. It's like home.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they're private guys. They're the complete opposite of me. I'm sort of like,
you're like, I am.
Yeah, like I let it all out, and they're much more careful than I am.
Yeah. On your first single, Blood for Poppies, you talk about that it's about human struggle for staying sane. How do you stay sane on the road and with all the attention you're getting? How's that work?
I don't know, I was brought up on an island basically, I come from Scotland, and it's a small community and everybody's sort of in on top of one another, and you see everybody on a daily basis, and as a result of that, I think the culture in Scotland is one of, you can't afford to really get beyond yourself. And even though I have experienced an unbelievable amount of success in my life, I think because I grew up in Scotland, I've just been able to sort of be quite philosophical about that and not take it too seriously and not take myself too seriously, although I take what I do very seriously.
How does that help you with your music then?
I don't know if it does help with the music, to be honest. I mean, sometimes I think it would maybe be better if I was a little more starstruck with myself in a funny way. I feel like, in my life, it's been hard for me to have confidence coming into a band filled with literally world-renowned producer and feel like I have something equal to bring to the equation. It's challenging at times, I cannot lie.
It's funny that you mentioned that because, one of the questions that was in my mind is, when was the first time on stage you felt like you owned it?
Whoa. I think it was on our second tour with version 2.0, so it was our second record, and we were playing in Wembley Stadium in London, and Chrissie Hynde joined us on stage, and I felt bolstered by her belief in me, and I think that was the first time I was like, okay, I think I might be a bona fide rock star at this point.
I've got it. And it took that long. It's interesting, a lot of people wouldn't even know that.
I think I was 30 years old when it happened. I was older, and it finally happened, and it felt good.
Oh, how humbling, though, that experience.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people are saying this album is so similar, obviously, to the first. It has kind of a raw type of feeling. Do you think, in a sense, you guys have gone full circle?
I do, yeah.
And come back to your roots? Is that what it feels like?
I think it feels like we've gotten back somehow, and I don't quite know how we did it, but we got into a beginner's mindset with everything. We just sort of stopped thinking about the business, stopped thinking about the fans, stopped thinking about chart success or radio play, and just focused in on making music. And I think as a result, that's why we have that sort of energy on the record that people are responding to.
Playful, edgy, would you call it that?
Yeah.
And being in the studio, also, it's like you own it a little bit more because it's your own label. How does that change how your music sounds?
I don't think the label situation per se affects the music, but it feels really good to have our business run the way we feel is appropriate and is in line with who we are as people, what our sense of humour is, what our morality is, our philosophy, and so on and so forth. So it just feels a little more in line with who we are as people.
Got it. And I Hate Love, very provocative title.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank
Can
you
you tell me about it?
Well, it is a provocative title, and clearly I knew that when I first started out. My dad has done nothing but rab it on about, I think it's really offensive that you have a song called I Hate Love.
Does he think you hate love?
I don't know what he thinks, but I was like, you know what, Dad, until you listen to the song, we're not having this conversation. I'm not going to dignify this with a comment until you listen to the song. But yeah, the idea is not, of course, railing against the idea of real love. Absolutely not. But it is about sort of that horror when you love someone and they don't love you back, and you know, you're in that purgatory. It's hellish.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody can relate.
Yeah, everybody can relate.
What would the 1990s Shirley Manson, what would you tell her? What advice would you give her?
Oh my God. I don't know. I feel like I spent a lot of time worrying about stuff that was so inconsequential, so silly. I mean, I was constantly berating myself internally. You know, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not slim enough. Crazy stuff. And now I look back at myself and think, what were you thinking? You were really cute. You were slim. You
had
were
it going
this.
on.
You were that. I had it going on.
Yeah.
And it was just a waste of energy. And I think basically, and I think it's a lot of young women feel because they don't relate to the images that they see in magazines that they're not enough. And actually the fact is, you are enough. And these images are touched up and produced to look perfect, and you can't possibly expect yourself to be perfect. Nobody does. Nobody expects you to be perfect. I didn't realise that.
And now you do. And
Now
you're
I do.
kind of past it.
I'm past it.
And that gives you a different sense on stage and how you perform.
Yeah, I think it does. I think that is the one amazing thing about getting older, and it sounds like a horrific cliche, but you may see a physical deterioration, but actually intellectually and philosophically you just sort of move into yourself a little more.
Yeah, you get more comfortable
Yeah.
realizing you can feel it too. I think people can feel that.
Yeah, I think you just start to own yourself and your intelligence and your direction in life.
Yeah. I have to ask, by the end of 2012, I mean, with all the craziness that's going on right now, what do you hope most for to come out of this album and the tour?
I don't actually hope for anything beyond that me and my band stay healthy and nothing tragic befalls us. I mean, that's basically all really you can really hope for in life.
Right.
The rest is totally out with our control,
Right.
and this should be about us having fun. It shouldn't be about us being tied to a business expectation or anything like that.
Not this time around.
Not this time around.
And what were you so underwhelmed by at Coachella?
I was not so much underwhelmed. I just saw a lot of stuff. By the way, I saw a lot of amazing stuff, but I also saw a lot of really underwhelming, uninspiring performances. And when my band hit the stage, we always try and inspire, and we always really seek to perform something that excites the crowd. You know, we just don't come from that sort of school of thinking that we're so cool, you should just be happy to be in our presence.
That we're just here.
We're just cool and you should be fucking great, excuse me, you should be grateful that we exist, you know.
Yeah.
That's just not how we see it at all.
Did it give you a little bit more fire then to go back, get in on stage?
Absolutely. I mean, I literally was like a marauding beast at Coachella that year, and I remember seeing my manager at the time, and I was like, "Mummy's hungry," and he was like, "Okay, like feel it, I'm feeling it."
See you doing this exactly. What is it that you want fans most to know about this album and what you put into it?
I want our fans not to know anything about this album and instead be able to connect with the music in relation to their own life. So it's their story that's important to this record, not ours.
Not yours.
You know, we've made the record, our story is in the record, and now it's about people relating their story with ours.
And you've already have sold out shows. I mean, are you surprised at all about the response of like, people really want a Garbage reunion?
Yeah, I think we were all overwhelmed by the welcome we got. I don't think we really expected that, and we realised what incredible privilege we are. You know, this situation is for any band to go away for 7 years and actually come back and have interest is astounding.
It's not just interest; it's a craze.
Well,
it's a craze.
I don't know about that, but I hope so. I mean, it's exciting for us,
Yes.
you know, and very. It's moving. I find it really moving that our fans have stuck by us for 7 years. That just blows my brains.
It's really grateful you are, I can tell.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.